Okay, so hopefully that's working. Can everyone just let me know if you can see my screen, please? Okay, so sorry about that. Yep, hopefully it's recording now and we can start. So this is just meant to be like a really quick guide to prospecting and profiling. Obviously it's a massive topic that you could probably talk for hours about. So I've just put together something with a few quick go-to guides really about certain groups of people, as well as just some tips about when you are actually prospecting. Okay, so planning, obviously, it's something that we kind of don't really think about when we're prospecting, but I found it really important. So getting the 80-20 balance right, that's in regards to if you've got your own business. It's really easy to get carried away managing your own team, and really we need to be concentrating on focusing on your own business 80% of the time, and only focusing on your team 20% of the time. So for that 80% of the time, that's for you to focus on your own retail and on your own continuing to prospect, so the way that you were before you got your first team, because I know it's really easy once you get your first couple of team members to get sort of really wrapped up with that. There's quite a nurturing instinct that sort of kicks in, and instead of carrying on with prospecting for new team members all the time. And you need to make sure that you plan to recruit. So again, that sounds really daft, but a lot of the time people that you're speaking to now aren't going to join the business now unless you get someone that absolutely falls in love with the idea. So you need to make sure that you've got people that you're constantly talking to, because chances are the people that you're talking to now, sort of mid-month, they'll be the people that may join your business in December or even in the new year. So you need to make sure that you, every time you do your plan as well for the week, that you are putting time in there to start new conversations with new people. And using the tools is something else that I think we sort of do overlook. We are really lucky in that we've got the online business presentation that gets put on for us on a Monday. And then obviously we've got Meet My Mentor on a Tuesday. We've got lots of BPs now. Helen and Gio started doing one for us locally. And I know that there's also one in Crewe and Stone as well. So it's just a case of making sure you are definitely using them. I know from personal experience, it has made a massive difference to me. Meet My Mentor and taking someone to a BP's made a big difference. So I'd just be really conscious of not losing them, because I know we had an issue with Meet My Mentor where there was lots and lots of business owners, but not many actual prospects. So I'd be really cautious not to lose them if we don't use them. And obviously we've got lots and lots of 5-minute and 20-minute videos. It's also a really good idea to do your own. So it's something that I'm going to be looking at doing with my own team this month, is all of us doing our own 5-minute and 20-minute videos, just because obviously sometimes if you're showing someone a business presentation by a complete stranger, but you're asking people to join your business and your team, it can be a little bit off-putting. So I know it's really nerve-wracking. It's not something I'm especially looking forward to doing, being as I've not quite mastered the art of a selfie yet, let alone a video, but it's definitely something worth doing. Okay, so this is something that I think I heard Abby say, and it properly made me laugh out loud, but it's actually really important. So something that I do here a lot when I sort of do my month start plans is I don't have any prospects. When I'm asking people, you know, who are your top prospects this month, and they're like, oh, I haven't really got any. Abby's right, if it was Abby that said it, that, you know, saying I haven't got any prospects as a network marketer is literally like being a dairy farmer and saying I've got no cows. Like, if you haven't got any prospects, then your business is not going to grow. And I think it's really daft, because most of us have probably got between 50 and 500 friends on Facebook. And what you forget is that every single one of those people is a prospect. Whether or not you've formally approached the business opportunity with them or not, they are still watching your Facebook. People that you work with, they are all prospects. Whether or not you've approached them yet, or sort of crossed them out because they're definitely not interested in the opportunity, or whether you've got so far as a 5-minute business presentation with them or you spoke about it. Even if you've never spoken to those people, chances are they will know what you do. So that means that they are prospects. So before you say I haven't got any prospects, really think about what you're saying, and how detrimental that is to the business that you've chosen to be involved in. So again, it comes back to the who do you know list. It's really important to constantly add to that list, and we'll go through some things in this training in terms of how to constantly expand that list and be adding to it all the time. But yeah, I don't have any prospects is a really frightening thing to hear. So actually prospecting, it's really important to be organised. So when I first started, and people said to me, I need to be messaging between 5 and 10 people per day, and I did, and I just ended up with an inbox absolutely full of messages with people that I was trying to respond to quickly, because at the time I was still working a couple of jobs and I hadn't got, you know, a clue of how far I'd got with each of those people unless I happened to be at the exact same point with all of them. So I've started using these prospect sheets. So they are quite similar to the ones that's in your manager booklet that you get when you sign up, or I've got them saved. I'm happy to share them with anybody else that find them useful. So I've printed loads and loads of these off, and I've got them in a folder that's got A to Z dividers in. I think it was a bit of a mishmash of ideas that I found from Jenna and Daria. That I've got an A to Z folder, which I've only got them in first name order, and then at the front of that folder I've got weeks 1 to 4 through the month. So if I've got specific hot prospects that I'm sort of really talking to about the business this week or this month, and the people that you plan to prospect sort of thing, I will move the prospect sheet for that person into one of those 4 weeks, depending on when I'm planning on talking to them about it. Or if I just happen to have come across them and started talking about it, I'll move them from the A to Z. Otherwise, for the majority of the time, they're in the A to Z, just so that I know where they are if I do come to talk to them. I also use the colour-coded list. So I've printed off my Facebook friends. There's a way that you can do that if you just Google it. It shows you how to export your friends list into a really printer-friendly way without having all the photos and the stuff if you just copy and paste your Facebook friends list. And then I use the coloured dots, so they're like 50p from Wilko's, and there's red, orange, yellow, green, and that helps me keep track of who I've spoken to yet, because there's loads of people on your Facebook. You wouldn't have filled in a prospect sheet for every single one of those people yet. So what I do is if I've spoken to somebody, I'll put a yellow sticker next to their name. If I've officially given a business presentation or sent them a 5-minute video, I'll put an orange one next to their name. If that person is already a customer and using the products, I'll put a green one next to their name. And obviously the names are all sort of down the left-hand side of the page, so the stickers all just go across, because the name doesn't take up very much space. If I've spoken to that person and they are dead against the whole idea, I'll put a red sticker next to their name, but obviously, as we'll come on to later, that's not always the end of the end. And it just helps me have a really quick look down of the names with no stickers, which will be the people that I've not directly spoken to or it's not come up in conversation. And for the people that I have spoken to, it gives me a really quick reference point as to where I am with them. In terms of the prospecting sheet, it's just got the things on there, like I say, that's in your booklet, so the things that you would ordinarily be finding out about a person if you were prospecting them properly. And this is one of the most important things that you could say, because we've all seen really funny sort of jokey posts that have gone up over the last couple of days. There was one where Ange was prospected by somebody in Forever Living in India. There was another one where Claire had put a video up recently where obviously the same thing happened to her, where people were just cold messaging, spamming basically, people that they'd not prospected properly. And even if you have got a cold prospect, as in somebody that you don't know personally, you should still be trying to find out as much as possible about that person before you bombard them with a business opportunity. So if that's a person that you happen to know through a group or something, try and strike up a conversation. I've had people that I've sold baby items to, you know, through Facebook selling pages. The next message I sent them wouldn't be, oh, by the way, I do Forever Living, would you like to join my team? It just wouldn't be. You'd find out a little bit more about them. So obviously, as I was selling them baby clothes, the next natural question was, how old is your baby? And just things like that, just so that it's not an oh my God message. And from that, you can start filling these things in. So their age, their occupation, relationship status. Obviously, you don't want to make it sound like an interview, but these are things that people will naturally tell you as you go through the conversation. If they're people that you know, you might be able to know whether they're a people person, whether they're outgoing. Their hot buttons is a massive one. So what would their why be? And then I've just got a progress record at the bottom where if it's a cold prospect, have I warmed them, i.e. have I actually struck up a conversation and relationship with them? Are they a customer? Have we discussed or mentioned the opportunity yet? Have I sent the video, booked a follow-up, what was the feedback? Have I booked a one-to-one? Have I added them to the All-Stars? And have I done a follow-up one-to-one? So just a really quick record of where I am with each person, because if you are doing a lot of activity and sort of messaging 5 to 10 people a day, you just, I wouldn't anyway, be able to keep a mental record of exactly where you are with them. So if you've not, it does seem a little bit anal and a little bit OCD, but if you've not got something like this in place yet, I'd really, really recommend doing something along these lines. And as I say, I'm happy to share the document that I've done, and you can just change it to suit whatever you want. Another one that's a bit common sense but does get overlooked really, really a lot is to make yourself and your business opportunity really attractive. So getting your Facebook right from the start is a massive one. It's something that we all go on about all the time, but you know, it's really, really important, especially from cold prospects, but also from your friends and family. So you don't want to be that person that started doing Forever Living and then loads of people unfriended you or stopped following you because you just post auctions and raffles and products all day long. Twofold really. Once when you start getting your own team, they will monkey see, monkey do. So they'll do the same thing if they've seen you do that, and it's not okay. And secondly, if your prospects go to look at your Facebook tonight, they're going to look at that as what they would have to do if they join the business. So if they can see you posting loads of pictures and discounts and offers on your Facebook, that's not a business opportunity. That's you just posting loads of spammy pictures, and it's not going to be attractive to them. So make sure your lifestyle posts reflect your business. What they want to see when they go on your Facebook is you doing your one-to-ones. It's you doing training like this, you know, in your pajamas on your sofa. It's things that are going to want to make them be part of a business, and there's nothing there that they're going to sort of wrinkle their nose up and go, oh, I don't really want to do that. It's not really for me. So make sure you're professional. Again, that goes without saying, but you know, you don't want people looking on your Facebook and seeing pictures of you off your face on a night out or something. I know it's difficult because your Facebook, you know, it is your personal Facebook page for a lot of people, so you're still going to want to continue to use it the way you would have done before you became a Forever Living business owner. But there are certain things that you don't really want on there. The same as any arguments or discussions and stuff like that, because the way Facebook's working at the moment, even if it's not on your Facebook, if you happen to have commented on, I don't know, there's loads of it at the moment with the awful things that have gone on in France. There's loads of political and religious debates going on. If you happen to have commented on one of them, even if you're not part of that group or your friends aren't part of that group, Facebook seems to be sharing and showing random stuff on your timeline, so it will come up. And again, it's a persona that you've got to put out. You are a professional person. Don't get involved with other MLMs about arguments in terms of who's the best, because I've seen them and they're cringeworthy. You know, where you've got people saying, oh, I would never do Juice Plus because of ABC. You wouldn't do it in any other profession. So I think it's weird that some people within network marketing do it. And again, for your prospects, it just doesn't look good. Facebook pages do not work. So I'm not the first person to say it. It's been said a lot. There's been a couple of videos made about it. Making a separate Facebook page for your business won't work. It won't work for your products, because I don't know about you, but I would never buy toothpaste because someone put a picture on Facebook and said this is really good toothpaste. I just wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't put it in my mouth or my kids' mouths. We will sell the majority of our products, I believe, by word of mouth and recommendations and stuff, put baskets, things like that. I don't think Facebook works for selling products in the first place. Facebook pages for your business opportunity don't work either. Setting up a separate Facebook account altogether seems to be a thing that people have started to do, and I just found that a bit weird. I'll admit I did do it at the start. I set up a separate Facebook because I'm a really private person. I've got an ex-husband, and there was things that I didn't want people to see on what I considered to be my personal profile, like pictures of the kids and stuff. I quickly realised that wasn't going to work. One, because people were messaging me saying they'd had a friend request from me and they thought I'd been hacked because obviously it was the same name. So they either didn't take the friend request, or they were reporting, you know, you can report that your friend's been hacked. They were doing that. And secondly, because if that Facebook is what you are going to use for Forever Living, there will be nothing else on it. So you will just irritate people because it will literally be forever, 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 and there'll be nothing to break it up. And thirdly, because by doing that, you're almost admitting that you're ashamed of the fact that you're a business owner because you want to keep it separate from you. I think the only way that you're going to make this business work is if you do eat, sleep, and breathe it. And by that I mean, if you aren't confident or you don't believe in the brand enough that you feel like you've got to go and create a separate Facebook account, that it just doesn't work. Secondly, if you've got pages, so like pages for your business, they really don't work. So I think I've got like over 100 people on my Facebook page, but if I post a status, 2 people will see it because of the way Facebook pages have started to be run. So it's just really detrimental. If you're a network marketer and you're only using a second Facebook account or a business page to prospect or to show off your lifestyle posts and things, people aren't going to see them. So it doesn't make any sense because you're limiting your own audience. So I would definitely start making sure that you're using your personal profile properly. And I think Abby said she'd only got a business page, as in a page that you can like rather than a friend page, once she'd got a lot of followers. And obviously she's got a lot of things to post. But, she'll be able to tell you that you can see at the bottom how many people have seen your post. And when you relate that to how many people have liked your page, unless you start paying Facebook to boost the posts that they now do, you just won't reach your audience. So in terms of prospecting then, just a few really quick points. So know your stuff, know the marketing plan. You need to confidently be able to explain to somebody the marketing plan because they're going to ask questions. And if you sort of stutter or don't really know what it is, or it just looks really unprofessional, so make sure you understand the marketing plan. Watch lots and lots of business presentations. So either in person, go to the business presentations and watch the person delivering them and how they deliver them, and which points they highlight, which bits they sort of quickly skim over. There's loads of online business presentations within our own team and beyond that you can just watch and make sure that you are picking up what they pick up on. And don't be afraid to use your upline if appropriate. So a lot of the times we will say that sort of you will go to your first couple of one-to-ones with a new team member's prospects and help them get their first prospects. So don't be sort of embarrassed or ashamed of asking your upline if they'll come with you, so that you can see how they would do it, or if you can go along to a one-to-one maybe that they're doing with somebody else, so that you can see how they do it, and then you will be able to duplicate it. So I think this one's really important. It is a profession, and the more that I do it, the more I realise that actually there's loads and loads of sort of science behind it in terms of psychology, the personality colours that I touched on when I did my mentor training, the sort of the different personality types and how you would alter what you're doing in terms of what kind of personality you're presenting to. So all I can advise is to read loads. Eric Raw is amazing. His Facebook page, even just the little quotes he shares are amazing. I would definitely recommend reading his book, and he's also got a YouTube for 20 people in 30 days, which is really useful. I think it's about an hour, but it's a really good video to watch if you get a chance. Obviously, we've got Emma Cooper's recruitment slides as well, which there was no point in me really doing something along those lines, telling you how to start a message, how to end a message, just because we've already got all of that. It's all been said. And love your business. So this sounds really simple, but I actually went along to one of my own team's one-to-one not that long ago, and sort of midway through the one-to-one, she started saying that she didn't know how long this business would go on for, and she didn't know whether it would be making her a lot of money, but she was going to try. And I was just a bit gobsmacked because they aren't the kind of things that you will be saying in the middle of a one-to-one to someone that you're trying to get to join your team. Obviously, there are things that she would definitely, be able to come to me with and talk to me about, but not in the middle of a presentation with somebody else. You need to be confident and happy in your business. Fake it till you make it is really difficult for me. And I know that I've had a couple of people in my team say the same thing. So where they're saying, I haven't got a lifestyle post, I don't know what to post. I go to work all the time, and now I'm spending all my spare time trying to build this forever business. And moreover, people that I work with know that I do this as a job. So I'm saying, come and join this work from home opportunity whilst I'm sat in the office with them doing my 9 to 5. So it's all about not faking it till you make it. But to give you an example, my very first bonus check was like £26 or something. But what I did with that was put a post on saying thank you to Forever, and that me and Jace had gone out for a lovely meal together, put on a dreaded selfie of me and Jace in the car, and updated my Facebook status with it so that people knew that, I'd got this extra income. Because some people don't do forever living to replace their income, they do it as an extra income. And everyone was like, oh my God, I hope you had a lovely time. Loads of people commented, so it got loads of people interested in, well, what's this extra income that you've got? What extra are you doing? So it opened up lines of conversation. But it was also about what you don't post as opposed to what you do post. So me and Jace actually went for Domino's. It was 2 for Tuesday. So people don't know that 20 odd quid, because I didn't put what the amount was. They just know that I got a bonus, which allowed for me and Jay to go out for a meal together. So fake it till you make it is sometimes almost much about what you don't put as about what you do, and making the best out of what you've got. You can also use your upline or other people. And definitely what I'd say is use your goals and talk about when they will happen. So not what you hope this business will achieve for you, but what it will achieve for you, what it's going to achieve for you. So if you're still working and someone turns around to you and says, well, it's obviously not working for you, make sure you can say to them, well, in a few months' time, I'll be earning whatever it is that you think you'll be earning. Or sometimes it's better to not talk money and just say, well, in the new year, we're going to start planning for Jace to be able to not be at work anymore. And just things like that. So sometimes it's not all about what's going on right now. If people can see enough potential in what you're doing, they'll still buy into it. So don't get caught into the trap of thinking I've got, it's not really attractive because people know I'm still working. Just think about what a positive spin you can put on everything. Send open messages. So if you are sending messages via Facebook or text messages, make sure every message you send is personal. So don't copy and paste messages. That's nothing new. But make sure there is something to reply to at the end of the message. Hopefully Jace won't mind me saying that it was him whose messages I read, because obviously he's my hubby, and he was like, no one's replying to me, I can't get anybody interested in anything, I don't know what else to say to them. And when I watched his message, read his messages with his permission, I found that there was actually nothing for people to reply to in what he was sending. So he was sending them messages and talking about what it was that he was doing, but there wasn't any either question or open to the end of the message that means that those person had a reason to reply. So I always reply, like even if there's no reason for me to reply, I still find something to say. I'm one of those people that I find it really awkward if I'm the person getting the last message. But for a lot of people, you need to give them something to reply to. So make sure there's something in the message that says, how does that sound to you? Or what are you doing tomorrow? Because if you've ended the message with a reason for them to reply, then they will hopefully reply to not just the end of the message, but also the other stuff that you've said. Also, try and avoid sending massively long messages, because people just aren't going to read them at all. And don't only ever message about the business or the products. Make sure, if these are people that you do know, that you are messaging them about other stuff. So, if it's their birthday, send them a message saying happy birthday. Even if you don't especially know the person, that's a really good tip for opening up conversation as well. But just make sure it's a conversation and not you sending over loads of facts and figures and not giving that person something to reply to. And that comes on to this really, and that don't become a crazy network marketing person. So don't overhype the business. This is coming from a video I watched by Sean, and I'll put the link at the very end of this to his video, because it's a really good little video. So what that means is don't send them this amazing, over the top, unbelievable business opportunity, because if it's an unbelievable, over the top business opportunity, most people won't buy into it. So in the first few times I was prospected, before I actually approached Abby a year later and joined it was sort of sold to me as this amazing business with amazing products and amazing opportunities, and you just think, if something's that amazing, it's probably not true. So as much as we know the products are fantastic and we know the business opportunity is mega, and sometimes if it's someone personal, and it could make a massive difference to their life, it's really difficult to try and curb your enthusiasm. But it's definitely something that I've learned in the last couple of months, and I have noticed a massive change since I took a step back from being like really over the top and really enthusiastic about how amazing the products are and how the business opportunity and the money that you could earn. Once you actually take a step back and don't be really, really desperate, if anything, be really casual. So it's something that Abby said to me, and it really struck a chord with me, because it was like, if you appear that desperate that you need that person to join your business, and it's obviously not an amazing business, you're obviously not having loads of success with it if you need that person. So you don't want them to think that. And also off the back of that, you want that person to want this opportunity. What you don't want is a load of people signing up to your team who were actually railroaded into it, And then once they do join up, think, oh, actually, I didn't really want to do this at all. You want people that are driven, and you want people that want the opportunity. So, you know, present the business opportunity and either let them bite your hand off for the opportunity to do it, or just, you know, leave them go. If it's not for them, that's okay. So it's really, really disheartening sometimes if you've had somebody that you've been engaged with for a couple of weeks or months even, and you think they're definitely going to sign up and then they don't. Don't be that crazy person that sends loads of messages afterwards and saying, oh, you know, but this could do this for you and this could do that for you. Just don't. If it's not for them, that's okay. It's always really, really good to get referrals. So one of the methods that both Emma Cooper and Eric Wall use is where you say, you know, okay, that's not for you, that's fine, but do you know anybody else that would be interested in earning an extra £300 to £400 a month? Because that sort of reiterates the idea to them, so it'll get their cogs going, and hopefully for yourself it might get you some referrals too. And remember the compound effect, so they might be back. So just because they've said no to you today, they'll still be on your Facebook, they'll still be watching your Facebook journey. And there's a few people in my team at the moment that are really doing well with this, in terms of people that they've spoken to in the past are now coming back and even approaching them, saying, you know, we spoke about the business opportunity, I've seen you doing really well, can we meet up and chat about it? So compound effect definitely works. Don't take the no as the end of the line, because it's really not. And kind of keep you updated. So I've never had anybody turn around and say no to this question yet. So if you say to that person, can I get back to you in a couple of months and see where you are, or, you know, can I let you know about any products that I think might be that might be suitable for you? People don't generally say no to that question, but what it does do is keep the line of communication open. So if you do go back to them in a couple of months, they can see from previous messages it's not because you're hounding them, it's because they almost gave you permission to go back to them. Messages aren't always the best way, so this is something again that personally just in the last couple of months I've been finding, and that's that we sort of get carried away with these messages, and it doesn't always work. So there's so much to say and there's so much to explain. You can send an online BP or sign them up to a Meet My Mentor or something. That might be better than just trying to explain the whole business model to somebody over a message. So what I've started to do now, and it has had a massive difference, is use your messages to get a face-to-face meeting or a phone call. Don't use your messages to get dragged into all the ins and outs of the business and the commission and the marketing plan, because you either end up sending massive messages to people and then they either won't read it or won't reply, or sometimes it's not always easy to get that enthusiasm or sort of a sense of the business over a message. Sorry, put my teeth back in. Whereas if you get to meet that person face to face, it's more personal for a start. It's just you and them. It's easier to judge their body language, so I find it quite a big tool when I'm doing a one-to-one with somebody in person, because you can pick up on their body language, you can pick up on the bits that you say that are interesting to them. So everyone's hot button, if you mention the holidays and, you know, their eyes light up, or you mention the money and they ask you further about the money, it's so much more easy to connect with a person and why they would be interested in it over the phone or one-to-one than it would on a message. So would definitely use your messages to get a face-to-face meeting or to get a phone call, because again, you know, it's easier to gauge someone's interest. You could have somebody messaging you for months that are sort of just, oh yeah, that sounds really good, but actually they're not really interested, whereas it's really hard to fake that over the phone or face-to-face. So I know it's not always easy. Obviously when I started I was running 2 different jobs, and it's dead easy to try and say, oh, just, you know, arrange face-to-face meetings, but where you can and where you've got the time, it definitely would be my preferred method going forward, rather than just Facebook messaging, even with people that you already know. Take a paper form with you. So where I meet someone now face to face, I will get there before them. I put the brochures and stuff out on the table so that they're there. They're not me getting them out and handing them to them. I just lay it all out on the table with the incentives book and the top 10 little green leaflet, and I just pop that all on the table where we're going to be sitting, and I sit away from it. And then I also take with me the paper form. So I'll do the one-to-one. We'll be, you know, talking about the business opportunity. I'll have a notepad and pen, and I'll say to that person, you know, what are you doing at the moment? Ask loads and loads of questions. Make it really, really personal. But taking a paper form with you, if you can get that person to fill it in, they've made a mental commitment then, rather than going home with that person and them saying, oh, think about it, or yeah, I'll fill in the online application on Tuesday. If you can get them to fill in the paper form and say, if it's okay with you, I'll send this off to head office and I'll send you the link and you can do the payment online, because sometimes it is okay to just do the paper form, but it's obviously quicker if they do the online form. But if they've already done a paper form, even if you then send them the link to sign up online, it's all about sort of the 3 yeses. So they've already made a mental commitment that they are joining up because they've already filled it in. Invest in people, so qualify them is again from Sean Andrew Walker's video. Is making sure that person's open to do something that's not going to affect what they're doing at the moment. If they're open to the idea, so that you've already prospected them in that way. Whereas if there's someone that's dead against it, but you're not listening to that, you've not paid any attention, and then you go on to do a pitch, you're going to make yourself look a bit daft. So make sure you've qualified them and their interest first. Find their hot button and then make your pitch relative to it. So if you've got somebody that's just looking for some extra time, if you've got someone that's looking for the social aspect, if you've got someone that's looking for extra cash, someone that's interested in global travel, someone that's always wanted to work for themselves, if you sat down and wrote a list of all the different benefits that you could get from being a forever living business owner, every single one of them you could qualify as a hot button. So people would join the business for so many different reasons. It's really important that you find that person's hot button and how things could change for them if they did it. And the only way you're going to do that is by asking loads and loads of questions. So there was another video by another network marketer that uses Tiny, and that's their interests, not yours. So find out their interest in this business and not what it means to you if they join. Again, make sure you don't need that person. So this isn't about you. It's not about your business. This is about that person. Play it really, really cool. Make the business real. So this is, again, something I've started doing, is if I ask that person, so if that person, for example, wants to be able to not go back to work after maternity leave, and to do that, they're going to need to earn £500 a month. I will break that down through case credits and explain to them exactly how they would earn £500 a month. Sort of have a really rough estimation. Obviously, it completely depends on the type of person that you've got. And you can show them that they could start doing that within X amount of months. It makes it so much more real because there's so much to talk about in terms of products and marketing plans and promotions and holidays and all those kind of things, that you can drift away from the actual financial aspect of it. Whereas, you know, money does talk, and if you can ask that person, what do you need? What would make it worth your while basically joining, and then show them how it is that they could do that. And that will make a massive difference to the pitch to them as a whole, because you've made it real to them. It's not been a generalized pitch. You've shown them how they could get what they want. So you need to make sure that you're comfortable with turning case credits into money. So I think at the moment it's like it's about £60 for one case credit, sorry. So you know that to get £500, you would need to work out how many case credits they would need to do. And it is dead simple, but it does make things a lot more realistic to the person that you're pitching to. So yeah, be a cool customer, be confident but casual. If you're doing a face-to-face one-to-one, take your lead from that person. So like I said, I get there first. I have everything out in front of me, and if that person picks up the incentive book first and turns straight to the page with the holidays, then I'll sort of talk more about the travel and how you qualify for that, and name the places that people have been to so far that year. If they start talking straight away about the products, then we'll talk about the products. Take your lead from them, making sure that you get everything in there that you need to get in there, and then the whole thing seems a lot more relaxed. It's not you pitching a business opportunity start to front and confusing them with marketing plans. It's being led by them, which means people are more likely to sign up or do things if it was led by them in the first place, rather than if they feel like you've convinced them or you've coerced them. Ideally, you want them to convince themselves. So I will get them to ask loads and loads of questions, and like I say, make it really, really personal to them. There's a whole world out there. It's just a little bit about prospecting to people not on Facebook. So talk to people. There's loads and loads of people that you come into contact with every single day. This was the bit that terrified the life out of me at first. I could not imagine being that person that gets served in Tesco and then just casually hands over a business card. It like literally made my toes curl. But now I do it all the time, and I have had some really, really good feedback from it with customers, as well as a couple of people that have been interested in the business opportunity. So if you've spoken to somebody, if you've had really good service from somebody, then tell them, and then that opens conversation. So Angie's elevator video is absolutely amazing. She explains there how if she's had really good service in a restaurant, then she'll say to that person, did you always want a career in catering? And if they turn around and say yes, then you can tell them that they've really served you well, they've made your evening. If they say no, and you say, well, actually I've got a business opportunity that I think you'd be really good at, would you mind giving me your number and we can talk now, because it's not always appropriate to talk now. And the same with really little details. So Ange was saying that she noticed that a lady on her badge had got quite a foreign name, and she said, that's a really unusual name. Where did you get, where are you from? And the person told them, and because Ange knows that we'd got business in that area, she said, oh, that's amazing. The company that I work for has actually got head office in there. And she would go so far as to get out the international directory and show them where the head office was and say, like, did you know where this is? And it's a conversation starter. So really, really don't be scared of doing it. I'm not going to lie, it's horrific the first time you do it if you're not a naturally overt person. But now I actually find it really, really natural. I find it like, why would you not? Because at the end of the day, 6 months ago, I was really struggling to balance 2 jobs with 3 children, 2 of which are consistently poorly. So if you can help somebody, try and look at it on that way. Try not to look at it, use tiny again, their interest, not yours. So if someone could offer you a way out of a really difficult situation, why would you not offer it to them? And once I started to think about it like that, it did make a big difference to the nerves in doing it. Take your business cards with you, so that's a given. Then you can give them out when you do see them. Make new friends, so volunteer, go to mummy and baby groups, expand your network of people, because you need to be constantly adding to that who do you know list. I found this made a massive difference to me personally, to be honest, because I would literally go to work, come home, so actually making a conscious effort to go out and make friends, it sounds really sad, but it has made a big difference to me. So I have made new friends, whether those people will become part of my business or not, I've still made friends. So there's definitely a whole world outside of Facebook, friends and family on the school playground, wherever you can, just get talking to people. So hopefully that's been a little bit useful. I'm by all means not an expert, but they're just a few things that I've found that have started to make a really big difference in the last couple of months since I've started doing them. All I've got now is just a couple of profile types. So it's really, really important to make sure that you make every single pitch to do with your business opportunity as personal to the person that you're doing it to as possible. But there are a few sort of common denominators. So with students, I don't know how many people saw the post by Hannah on the A team as a poor student who used her overdraft to pay for her box. And then in 7 months she turned that into £9,000. So that's a massive example of someone that's done really, really well. I wish someone showed me this opportunity when I was a student, because I started university like 8 months pregnant while still working for an energy company. And if someone had shown me this, a way of sort of earning money around my degree rather than at the same time as working, I'd have snapped their hands off for it. So in terms of pitching to students, you can say that it's the most sociable 3 years of their life. So for the majority of students who weren't like me, married and with a baby at home, it will be the most sociable 3 years of their life. They will be exposed to so many people from all walks of life, the potential customers. Most students have got gyms, they've got netball clubs, they've got football clubs, and also in terms of recruiting. So how many poor students does your student friend know? How many student friends do they know that would like this opportunity? You will be exposed to people. You will probably move away from home. So if you're a student living away from home, you've got a twofold network there. You've got the network from people that were at home, where you lived at home, or your college and high school friends, or your family in whichever city you come from. And then you've got all the new people that you're going to be exposed to. And then you've got all the people that they know. You've got all the people in the bar job that you might get or might currently do that you could replace with this income. You've got people that you will meet in fraternities and clubs and things. So in terms of a network, I think 3 years at university is probably the biggest sort of people pusher that you will ever get. It's a self-employed opportunity for £199, which is crazy. You can explain to them that everything is all sorted for you. You've got your website ready-made for you. You've got your courier, your dispatch, your warehouse. A lot of students are really, really savvy, so that will mean a lot to them. you can build a business so that by the time they leave university, there's no graduate rush. So how many people do we know personally that have left university with a degree in a particular subject area, myself included, and then there's a massive rush to try and get a job in that area? So I studied for 3 years doing an animal behaviour degree, and then by the time you graduate, there's literally no jobs. You are applying and applying and applying. So they could be in a position at that point where they've already built up this business to be earning anywhere from £500 to £5,000 a month, so that when they leave uni, there's no rush to get a massive job and try and start paying back that student loan. One of my favourites when I'm talking to students is the no arguments over exam time holidays. So if you consider the majority of student stereotypical jobs in the bars, in the shops, the majority of those people will all have exams at the same time. So it tends to be sort of January and then May, and a couple of people will have exams in October. May to June, you've got all your dissertation and everything going on, which means that majoritively the people that work in that bar are all students and they all need the same time off, not only for the exams, but also for the revision time. So I know somebody who actually had to fake a sickie to get their actual exam off, because even after taking in their exam timetable to the shop they worked in, there was too many people with exams that day who, went to the same university, who couldn't get the time off. So obviously with an opportunity like this, if they've built up their business to a point then where they've got a nice income from it, they won't have to worry about when they need to take it a little bit easier come exam times. Products which really, really appeal to all kinds of students. So like I say, even from a retail perspective, you've got things like the fab drinks, the beef pollen, the drinking gel. There's loads and loads of sporty products because there's loads and loads of sporty elements to being at university. So it's definitely a few things there to consider when you're pitching it specifically to students. So pitching to working people, obviously it's an opportunity to build a business that could allow them to work from home if they wanted to once they build it up. It still fits around the current employment, so there's no compulsory training, there's no minimum amount of time that you need to work this business. It can also be for extra cash, not a replacement. So some people will do it for extra cash towards that big purchase. So if you know someone that's looking to get married, buy a house, people can do it for extra cash. So a lot of people I've spoken to have said, oh, I don't want to work from home, I like my job. And I think sometimes we pitch it as a work from home opportunity and forget that lots of people run a really successful forever living business alongside a career that they still actually want to do. Obviously from a children's perspective, this is something that could replace their job, allow them more time with their children, less childcare, more freedom around holidays. If their children are sick, they've not got to worry about a loss of earnings, all those kind of things that you can think of in terms of parents. It's flexible, so they can do as much or as little as they want. All the training's online and they can still do it whilst they're still working. And as a bonus, whilst they're still working, they've still got a customer base and a network at the place where they work, so they can, have a ready-made base of people. So for stay-at-home parents, it's a fantastic opportunity to earn some extra money with a relatively small investment. So for just £199, it's not a lot of money given what it would cost if perhaps they wanted to start a business doing something else. You can build a business without relying on childcare. You can do the one-to-ones and stuff in the wacky warehouse. I've also pitched it to stay-at-home parents who've said that they were feeling quite lonely or quite isolated, even just people on maternity leave. Sometimes I know I felt a bit like I was in a bubble and no one spoke to me all day. You sort of gagging for that person to come home from work if you've got a partner. So it's actually a really good social thing, this is. If you run the business and you then build up a little team or you work with your upline, we've got obviously all the events and stuff that we do. So it can also be really, really good for building a social profile for somebody. Blokes, so it always confuses me. I think I've read somewhere that in every other country in the UK, men are actually more prolific at this business. It's just the UK where we've got more female business owners. So I'm not really sure why that is that way around. Obviously, there's a massive reason for men to be involved in this business. There's a massive sports and fitness industry, aside from all the other products, which are obviously still perfect for men. In fact, there are male-specific products when you look at the aftershave and stuff. The male grooming industry is one of the fastest growing industries at the moment. Blokes are starting to spend more time in the bathroom than ladies. Norwich Football Club, and then there's a couple of semi-professional boxers as well that have also done recommendations and testimonies and things as to the products they use as well as the business opportunity. And lastly, just really quickly about approaching businesses. So some people have decided to approach businesses in terms of the products and stuff, and these are just a few tips. So do your research. What do they already do? There'd be nothing more embarrassing than going into a grooming, like a dog groomers or something, to ask if they would like to start buying the vet spray and the shampoos and stuff, only to find out they already do. So try and do your research, either as a customer, if it's a place you can go and walk around, or just find out what it is they already do. Avoid emails and long messages, they don't really work. I've spoken to a couple of people who are quite high up in the buying industry within certain places like John Lewis and stuff, and they don't tend to read them because they get so many of them. They just don't tend to read them, so avoid big long messages. Big long messages are okay for arranging to go, but they're not okay for pitching the actual products or the opportunity. So research the company. It's really nice if you know a few key facts and figures about the company, when they were founded, just things like that that you can drop into any pitch that you do go on to do, because that shows that you've invested. So in the same way as it's really important to invest in a person for them to want to buy into you, it's really important to invest in the company as well. Use the 2-call trick. This is something that my dear old dad taught me. It makes it really personal. So phone up and find out who within the company it would be that you would need to talk to about buying in, if you're looking at getting somewhere to agree to actually taking the products or something. So if this is, again, a grooming parlour or a hairdresser or something, find out who the manager is, who the top dog is. And then when you call back, you can ask for them by name, and it just comes across a lot more personal. You can ask if you can drop off some samples or products for them to review, so you can angle it from the really respecting them and their opinion, asking them if they will look at them and tell you what they think. We all know our products are fantastic, so there's a very high chance that they will think it's amazing, but that way you're not angling it at a will you buy my products, you're looking at it from a will you try these and let me know what you think. For me, that's worked really well for dog groomers and stuff, because the majority of people will try something for nothing. It's only like dropping off a put basket or something for a person, and if you angle that as the sort of can you let me know what you think, because I don't know a lot about dog grooming or hairdressing or whatever, people are more likely to buy into that than you saying, if I bring you around some samples, will you try them, with a view to buying them. So it's just a bit more of a favourable angle. How does your products fit into their store or customer base is really important. So what is it about your product, what is it about our product, whichever one it is that you're going to pitch, which comes on to the next bit of choosing it wisely. So don't go in there with the whole catalogue. Make sure that you are specifically targeting a couple of products that you know inside out, but you know will fit into whatever business it is that you're actually going to. And practice your pitch in front of the mirror or to a friend or family or somebody, and just so that you're confident when it comes to actually pitching it, if you're going into that environment as into sort of a formal pitch. There's just a few links there as to the videos that I've got a few of these bits and bobs from. Hopefully I'll be able to either link them underneath, or once the video is recorded, you'll be able to just use them straight away. So hopefully everybody found that useful. I'm going to go and rescue Jace now, because he's upstairs with a very poorly Scarlet. So hopefully that was useful. Hope everyone's had a good weekend.